And I'm going to show you how fast it takes us to be able to process new technology extremely fast. So these right here, which is let's see right here, we have these right here. This right here, the CBWs, or we call those concentrated black widows. This is for a project for a church that we're doing right now. That is the church we displayed the screen, the gray screen that they were having a really hard time trying to produce an image. And mind, they're using an Epson 12,000 lumen laser projector, and they can't get the gray screen to fire up. It's not working. So this is a church we're working with right now. This right here is a special version of a 38 Black Widow. The C stands for concentrated. This is very special. We make these in these little containers right here. These are two samples that are being shipped over to them to take care of their problem. Over here, we have new technology under the color screen paint that we're working on. We actually have 5 of them in the works right now. Over here is the gold version. We displayed off. I have that one upstairs. And this right here is an invisible spray-on gunmetal technology right there. These were all designed today. Actually, no. This one was already designed already. These were designed today. I'm actually going to be doing a spray-on application. I heard this would get rain today, but I hope we don't. But this one's going to be sprayed on today to, what surface do we have? The surface over there laying, we're going to spray it on that surface. So as I said before, we develop technology faster than pretty much anybody, when you think about it. But some people, like I said, can't get past to, their products are not well tested, and they have a huge failure rate. We have certified companies out there who, again, amazing screen technology, but as I said before, it takes some years to develop new technology. Us, on the other hand, we can develop technology within minutes. What is going on in here? I was setting up in here. This is the floor projection screen. I'm trying to figure out how in the world I'm going to sit up here and game with my chair. So while you companies are doing the same thing over and over again, we, on the other hand, are doing new things. As you can see, look at the technology we have here. This right here is a floor projection screen. We're getting offers for this technology to be used in clubs and, restaurants and all different forms of other applications. Projector we're using in this demonstration is only $60, 720p, ultra short though projector. That's all that's needed to get the screen to fire off. This is how beautiful the image. So companies don't have to go out and spend all this money for expensive, overpriced projectors. I'm trying to figure out where in the world I put my stand at. I think it may be in here. I'm always using that stand somewhere in the house. I call it Stand the Man Pots and Pans. This is a whole set we're going to be doing here again today because I have to do a ambient light rejection test. Well, not test, demonstration. And I like to do that demonstration in that environment. I'm trying to track down where this stand went to. Got it around here somewhere, just have to figure where it's at. Now today we did something different. The awning that I have outside has a coating, the same invisible, well, one of the other invisible coatings attached to it that allow me to be able to display off the ceiling. Don't tell me I walked around my entire house looking for a stand that probably is in the basement the entire time. Because it's not upstairs. It wouldn't be upstairs in the other room because we don't need it up there because there's this floor screen in there. So it's got to be downstairs. I'm pretty sure it's probably right downstairs. And I probably walked right past it. Let me see. We've got all the trod units down here. Right here, here, and here. Others just stand like crazy through my house. I don't know where it's at half the time. I'm constantly losing it on where this stand is at. Let me check over. Maybe I can put it over here my trods over here, my stands over here. No, they put it over there. Did I leave it outside? I didn't use it outside for the demonstration. This is what I go through. I literally lost the stand. So we got quite a bit to go. But I'm telling you, you guys are going to have to catch up. You're too far behind. I got 5 more coming up this week. This is invisible gunmetal technology right here. What I mean, our technology is unbelievable. This stuff is going to be incredible. We got a concentrated gamer coming out pretty soon. And then we got these exotic colors that we're going to be doing. I got to track down where my stand's at. I bet you it's in the weirdest place. In the weirdest place. In a church. Well, let me explain something to you. Number one, me and my Lord don't appreciate you trying to use a church to tarnish my name. You're not going to go well. It's not going to go well for you for that one. Trust me when I tell you that. When I put it in God's hands, you're going to take a Christian and try to tarnish his name with a church. Not going to go well. First things first, we don't ship out 20 ounces for a church that makes an official buy. Never. It's not enough paint. It wouldn't cover the screen. Usually when you're dealing with a church, and this is where you guys don't know about business, and we do business with a lot of churches. As a matter of fact, the display that I have on my site is a church. And then my picture demonstrations is a church. So churches usually, when they place orders, and this is how much you guys don't know about, they never place orders for 20 ounces. The concentrated 38s are new. We just developed them today to deal with the fact that a lot of the churches now are going to be displaying outside. And because they're displaying outside, screens are going to be taking in 10 times more light. Now, usually, technology we develop now can easily produce outside with no problem, inside with no problem, outside. But for what they're going to be using the screens for, you're talking about 1 to 2 o'clock or 1 to 12 in the evening. That is some crazy hours right there. So that's why they require to have the projector with those same amount of lumens on this projector. So getting around this, we can't use sun color technology out there, number one, because it's a very complicated application and it's extremely costly. And usually when we're dealing with churches, this is inside, this is an easy job for us. But you're talking about an outside demonstration. You're talking about a screen that they want to pull up between 12 and 1. Those are extremely high, very bright levels. And in order to do that, we had to go through a ton of testing, which you guys never saw again off camera because it's between us and the church, on basically developing a more concentrated version of the 38 gunmetal, which, we're going to send them 2 of them. One's actually going, we just got to print out a label too. There's a container. 38 gunmetal and a 38. You know what stores for those? I think I had more paper for that. I might have one. I had one. We can use this one right here. This is over it. Yeah. Where did she do it? I gotta print out a label for them. So anyway, this is why you guys don't know anything about business, and I try to explain to you, again, churches don't order 20 ounces. So that's how we know it didn't come from a church. I know all my orders that came through my accounts. Any church that orders from us, they order 48s, and that's it. That's the biggest one we have right now, unless they go extra and they order a gallon. But most of the time, they're going to only need a 48 from us. So I know what sales I make over here at the end of the day. I don't appreciate coming in. You guys from number one, faking a demonstration. I had a conversation with this fellow about 8 or 9 times. He kept texting me back over and over again. Craziness. And he kept ranting about his batch number. You don't understand. You're not getting it. Before we can ship out any paint to anybody, it has to be tested. It has to be rolled out. Like all that product I had downstairs sitting on that table, the new stuff, all has to be, before we ship, for anybody can touch it, has to be rolled out and displayed for every single container. That way we have an insurance that when the customer gets it, it is working 100%. So if someone goes out and they make a fake label and they put black paint into it, we always can fall back on the original video when the process was shipped out. This is where you need to talk to an attorney because an attorney's going to tell you that this man has a foolproof case and you're not going to win. He's going to tell you this. There's a video attached to that product. So that is the product, and we're showing a demonstration on our side before anybody can get their hands on it, showing that product working perfectly fine. You have lost your case. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. But he kept going into these rants yesterday. I'm trying to talk to him. He kept going to these ongoing rants turned into curse words. And after that, I got to the point, I said, you know what? Not having this conversation with you, I got to get back to work. But this is what I went through yesterday. Anybody who was there in the room and kept hearing the phone going off over and over and over again, and my message, that was him carrying on the phone, just going off like crazy. So again, you have to understand, that's the purpose of the batch number. That keeps people from counterfeiting numbers, because anybody can come and say, hey, so we never did a video. Never did a video at all. And we launched this product with a batch number. Anyone can come in and counterfeit the batch number and say, this is what they sent me. This is what they gave me, so and so and so. We have no way to back that up if that's true. But for us, thank God, we have videos of every single paint out. Companies get this from us. People who buy from us on a regular basis get this from us. That's why the guy Hector who came in displayed a 38 Black Widow working perfectly fine with no problem, and showing off he has his batch number. He can display his batch number, showing this is a container it came from, and this is what I ordered. You're showing a batch number, but the problem is the product is coming up too dark. And what you don't realize is that product was tested on a 1,000 lumen projector in a max out zone, which is much brighter than your environment, which a much lower odor projector, and it produced an image easily off black paint, which couldn't match it, and network grade 773. And we went through the whole thing. We went through more than what you got in the demonstration. We did colors, white levels, the whole 9 yards. Didn't show up. Everything came up perfect the way it was supposed to. That's the problem you have now. So, like again at the day, you can talk to an attorney. They will tell you the same thing. If that man has a video showing his product working before it's shipped out and there are customers backing that product, you're in trouble, a lot of trouble. And I will be filing criminal charges, just to let you know. So I already talked to someone and they explained to me what I have to go through and what needs to be done and processed to get the ball rolling, to start setting up for a full class action lawsuit. I will not be taking you to small claims court for this. We'll sue you for everything now. So I tried to be nice about it. I really did, but I don't appreciate you. Number one, my Christianity and me being a Christian and then mixing me with a church and saying I stole from my church. I don't appreciate that. My Lord and Savior doesn't appreciate that. That was very ruthless to do. Keep in mind, I have all my orders from all the people that I've ordered to, and churches never order in 20 ounces because it's too small amount of paint. For the size screen that they're working with, usually they're 48s or more. That's what they work with. The screen paint we have downstairs is called a special version paint. It is a concentrated version. We started making samples of those for churches and companies because, again, because of COVID, a lot of like restaurants and churches are having these events outside. And they want to use this stuff around like 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Now, usually, like I said, if it's inside, a 38 Black Widow can handle it with no problem. You're talking about outside now in some crazy hours. But again, they're using these massive high power projectors and the gray paints aren't working. And this is what we got from the church that we're working with right now that product is going to. The gray paint that they have there, not going to mention any names, is not working. And this is under a 12,000 lumen projector, which I have clearly stated many times that you cannot use gray screen paints or white screen paints outside. They don't work. They don't work inside because if you look at the environments that they sit in, they have a very hard time trying to maintain an image. Even with some of the ones sitting next to very expensive projectors, as I've seen a lot of demonstrations, they don't pick up. They have to go out. The first thing a person's going to do when they can't get the screen to work, they're going to go out and they're going to get this insane, crazy projector thinking, okay, if I jump the losers at 12,000, 20,000, 50,000, I'm going to be able to pick up the image. No, you are adding more white light to a screen paint that can't handle the white light as it is, the environment as it is. You're adding more light to that and you will wash the screen out even faster. So usually, like I said, the churches, when we deal with churches, and we deal with quite a lot of them, we have them on our site. My intro video is a demonstration from a church that was very happy with our products and gave us a dedicated video for us. We have within the picture selection of my customers, you will see a church on display. We did a church over there for their customer. And if you notice the size of the screen, they are huge. So yeah, chances are we would never get an order for a 20 ounce. Never, ever. We would pretty much get that for what you're seeing right there in the container. Like I said, is a test version that you would get in a 20, but we just developed that today. So yeah. But anyway, let's go back to this right here on our page, and I'll show you. This is on our YouTube page, our Facebook page. This is the church we're working with right now, and even they're basically disgusted at the end of the day of what you tried. You don't do stuff like that. You know, people do stuff like that to try to discredit a person at the end of the day. But when you start messing with someone's Christianity, you start messing with their religion and their belief, at the end of the day, you got God to deal with that. I feel sorry for you. I wouldn't even wish. I don't have to do anything. You brought whatever destruction you brought upon your head, you brought upon your head. I know it's waiting for you because I myself, as a Christian, when I was a Christian, had firsthand experience what it was like to mess with a Christian, and it wasn't pretty. I told you that story a long time ago about my brother-in-law, who was a real serious God-fearing Christian man, and I wasn't. I was out in the streets running with guys and doing this and doing that and getting in fights and arguments and all kinds of crazy stuff. So at 16, I did whatever I wanted to do. So my mother was going to church. She wanted to make sure we didn't go out because we lived in a very rough neighborhood. I didn't care because I had my boys. You don't mess with me. I do what I want to do. And this is a lesson I will always never forget as long as I live. So just to give you a lesson, Jamie, so you can understand, you need to pray and ask for God for forgiveness of what you've done. But let me explain to you what happened to me and my personal experience when I was a Christian, when I wasn't a Christian. So anyway, my brother-in-law comes in the house and tells everybody, sit down, cool guy, real nice guy, buys his pizza and everything. Just sit down, let's watch some TV together, so and so, let's relax. Me, I want to go run the street with my boys because the party coming up, I want to be there. So I get all my gear on, I get dressed up, I'm on my block, I'm good, nobody can't touch me. When you're in your neighborhood, you know something about bad neighborhoods. If you're in your block, in your area, you're good. Unless you got another hater and they're waiting to get you. Other than that, you're good with your boys. So when you step over into another block, you know to zip your stuff up, take your rings off, whatever, because anything could pop off. You don't want to get shot, killed, or whatever, or you want to become a victim because someone's trying to rob you. So you know there's certain rules you got to follow when you're walking in neighborhoods. Certain zones you got to be careful about. Unless you're going in probably about 20 deep, you're good. You can go wherever you want. You might gonna start a rumble with 20 deep. But anyway, as I'm transferring over to around the corner where my boys got the car at, mind you, I just got into this argument with my brother-in-law, and I remember the last thing I told him, you tell me what to do one more time, and I'm going to shoot you in the face. That's what I told him. I never forget when I said that. No sooner than I got my gear on, walked around the corner, two guys came around the corner, put a gun to my head. Never forget that. Never saw their face, not what they looked like. It's like a shadow came out of nowhere, and all I know is I felt that cold steel hit my forehead. And I knew that was it. I was dead. Because usually in my neighborhood I was living at, if you even saw a gun, that was your last right there. That's the last thing you was going to see. But for some reason, they didn't pull the trigger. They hesitated, which I found it kind of curious because usually that's what they do. The minute they pull that gun and hit your head or near you, you're gone. That's it. So I'm already making my peace with God. I'm going. So right there and then, I see the bullets in the chamber. I see the revolver. I see the bullets in the chamber. I know if he squeezes one, that's the end of my life. So I figure, okay, look, he's going to have to get me in the back. He's going to get me in the leg, but I'm not going to die. So I push him. The man falls down. I get up. I start running, but I start zigzagging as I'm running because I figured I'm a hard target to hit. But if he does get me in the leg, at least if I get around the corner, I got my people around the corner, they can get this situation taken care of. When I zigzag, I don't hear no gunfire go off. He didn't fire rounds because usually they fire rounds. They go off. They fire rounds, nothing at all. As I get around the corner, all my people around there, I'm telling yo, somebody just tried to run around the corner. We need to handle this. So they all get together. They all pack up in the caravan. Everybody lock and load. Like I said, I was rough back then. Everybody locking and load, waiting to find these brothers because we just going to spray them when we see them. We don't see anybody. We're riding all up and down the neighborhood, talking to people who know this, who know that, even walking over into the Badlands, talking, do you know these people, so and so and so. But mind you, I don't have a description of these guys. All I heard was the voice. That's all I heard. So I'm sitting there trying to home in like some freaking bat, trying to see if I can hear these fellows in the crowd, but we don't find them. 2 or 3 days go by, we don't find nothing at all. But in the timeline that I still would not go back and ask my brother-in-law for forgiveness. I didn't not forgiveness for. I didn't ask for. I didn't say sorry to him because I had that pride built up in me that I wasn't going to do. I was going to do what I wanted to do at the end of the day. No one was going to tell me what to do, and I'm not going to this man and apologize to him because I know I was in the right. Every day that I didn't go in and ask for this man for apology, people were stepping to me trying to kill me. Every day. I never forget that. I'll never forget that as long as I live. Believe it or not, don't care. That's what happened to me. Every day I could sit out on my stoop, eat some food, and nobody would bother me. I had cars rolling up, guys looking out the window, making gun signals like this to the top of their head. I'm thinking, what the freak did I do? Like, I'm trying to figure out who the freak in the day did I wrong. Now I know my neighborhood. I know there's certain people you don't touch, you don't go near, and certain people you can. Did I beat somebody's cousin up? Did I do something? What did I do to bring all this madness on top of me? Can't go to the store without people. Can't. I had to bring my pit bulls out just to go from A to B. Somebody was trying to kill me every single day with some nonsense. Oh, you so and so and so from so and so and so. We gonna handle this today. I'm like, what the freaking money I'm carrying? So the last thing I want to do is shoot somebody. If I have to, I have to. But I don't want to shoot anybody because now I gotta go to. It's gonna be a whole process of bull crap I'm gonna have to go through, and retaliation will power up on retaliation in that neighborhood. They don't call 911 where I was living at. Please don't go out in the neighborhood. Please don't go out there. I even had an officer, I heard an officer say, we don't come out there until the gunfire stops. That's how crazy the neighborhood. I lived in Strawberry Mansion up near in the 80s when crack first came out. That was one of the worst neighborhoods to live in, and I was living up there. Surprisingly, thank God I got out alive because a lot of my boys didn't. A lot of my boys are buried. Most of them are in jail. Most of them are on crack. But my family got out alive, which I'm surprised. I watched entire families just diminish under crack, disappear. Mothers who had amazing jobs that worked at banks and had good jobs diminished into these freaking zombies that were washing cars just to get these rocks. I lived through all that. I watched people get burned to death, shot, murdered, killed, the whole 9 yards. I seen it all. So, when I went in and I finally couldn't take any more of this, I went to my brother-in-law and I pleaded for forgiveness. And he gave me forgiveness. He's a good man, gave me forgiveness. The next day that nonsense stopped? I had no more people coming up to me, trying to harass me, trying to kill me. I could walk through my neighborhood. It all just stopped. But I knew what I did was wrong because all I could hear in my head over and over again, constantly, I could hear that I'm going to shoot you in the face. I'm going to shoot you in the face. I'm going to shoot you in the face. That's all I kept hearing. That's all I heard when that gun was pressed against my head. That's all I heard was, I'm going to shoot you in the face. That's all I kept hearing. And the worst, I knew I had to go back and ask for forgiveness. I knew I had to. I needed to. I needed that cleansing. I needed it. But that pride, the devil telling me that, oh, you do what you want to do, so and so, you don't got to worry about it. You know what I mean? He's not going to do this. He's not going to do that. You do whatever. Yeah. So I learned that lesson. Even when I get into an argument, well, I remember I had a Christian man. We got into an argument over something, and we're arguing back and forth, and then I had to realize, I said, look, man, I understand that at the end of the day, we're having these arguments back and forth, but we have to understand we're doing something wrong here. We're both men of God. We're giving the devil what he wants at the end of the day. So I'm apologize on my behalf. I'm wrong. He apologized on his bad wrong, and we just worked it out. Right now, he's a fellow right now. I'm about to send up a gallon of paint to help him out because his projector is not working well. This is where he came up with the gunmetal technology because we said that it's an easy transition. People that are transitioned to the black screen may have a hard time dealing with it. It does produce, as you can see in my pictures, but some people are still coming off a white screen and that still want the desire, that white level. So that's where the gunmetal came in over this argument we were having back and forth because I knew my technology worked. He knew it worked. We had the batch numbers proving that it worked, but it just wasn't working. We're just going back and forth. And he wasn't even asking for anything back in return. Very nice guy. Wasn't asking for anything back in return. But me, sometimes I get a little arrogant and I get a little upset and I kind of in between when we have arguments. I know my stuff works, but then I have to understand that everybody's not going to be able to transition to black technology. And this is where God blessed me with the gunmetal. Gunmetal is an easier transition. It's more of a screen that accepts higher white levels. So that's where the gunmetal technology came in. But because of this, we're arguing back and forth, having this discussion. We're not screaming and yelling at each other. We're just having this disagreement, this debate back and forth. And we have to realize that at the end of the day, we are men of God. We are working for one purpose and one purpose only. It's not going to help us if we are divided, because that's what the devil wants at the end of the day. So to you, Fernando Gonzalez, you can say anything you want about me. At the end of the day, don't care. At the end of the day, that's water that rolls off my back. You can post my pictures here, post it. I don't care. But when you start talking about my Christianity, when you start talking about my faith with the Lord, and you want to fake a church with this, that's not good. I'm warning you. You better pray to God and ask for forgiveness. That's something you don't do at the end of the day. I have to answer for everything that I do. You want to call me this, that, and the other? Go ahead and call me with this, but I can back my product 100%. I stand behind my product. I know what I was blessed to get from my product. And all you naysayers out there can say whatever you want. At the end of the day, you're looking at my technology. It runs 24/7. I got people who come down here. I got people witness to my technology. And at the end of the day, when I see you in court, we're going to see who decides final judgment in there. Because at the end of the day, I got proof of my product. Because again, the batch number came from my Lord and Savior. He's the one that gave us the idea. We never even had batch numbers before. But we know you faked the demonstration. We know that from the door. And then to involve a church into that, yeah, that's something between you and God now. As in the part of all the legal stuff, that's between me and the attorneys. So let's go through this real quick. Yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about my life. But yeah, I lived in an extremely ultra-violent neighborhood. And I lived in 3 of these bad neighborhoods when I was coming up, jumping from one to the next. That's why it's a blessing to be out here. It's a blessing. People understand. People live out here. They've always been out here. I came out here. I had to get used to it. I had to used to not hearing gunfire 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning. Can't walk outside your door. At one point, I lived in one neighborhood. I was wearing a vest. It was that bad. And when you watch constant people get murdered every single day, it doesn't get easy. It really doesn't. I remember 12 o'clock in the afternoon, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, picking up sneakers. I was about to go across the street to get a slice of pizza. I'll never forget that day. All I was going to go and do is go get a slice of pizza. If I had walked out that door, I'd have died. I changed my mind. I turned around. I went back to get some shoelaces for my sneakers because I realized I had laces. No sooner than I took 2 steps to the cash register, this was freaking in broad daylight at 12 o'clock. Because the guy on the corner who owns the barbershop has a little business in the back. If anybody knows the neighborhood, you know what that means. And that little business he had in the back basically brought on some bad blood that wanted what he had in the back. So these guys decided that they were going to hit the store at 12 in the afternoon. Thank God the kids didn't get released from school early, because it would have been a bloodbath out there. But no sooner, the guy in the back who had this little business also had some protection. Some people that were in there posing to be sitting around, but they were basically his people. So long story short, the dumb boys ran in there, tried to rob the place, and bullets started spraying left and right. There's bullets coming out the freaking barbershop. The guys walked down the street. They were emptying rounds in the street, and everybody was running for cover. Nobody got shot, but there's bullets went into cars and stores and everything. The dumb boys did get shot. One got shot in the back. I watched him get shot in the back right in front of the store. Watched him right there, but I'm used to him, sensitized to it, so I'm used to seeing it. But I watched him get shot in the back. I watched his boys pick him up. I seen the car come in front. They threw him in the car, and they drove off. I was like, well, right there when I walked out, I'd have been shot. But like I said, this is something I had to get used to when I lived in these bad neighborhoods. It was an everyday life. You know, when you get up in the morning, most people get up in the morning when they're kids, and they throw on their sneakers and gear, and they walk out the door. I grew up different. I walk out the door, throw on my sneakers, throw on my gear, and I grab a gun, load it up, stick it in my back, throw my jersey over the top of it, and walk out the door. That's my everyday life. And I was just even to go to the store, or go to do this, or go to do that. That's what it was. Hardest thing was going to pick my mom up from church, because, you know, I didn't want to be walking to the church with a loaded gun, you know, at the end of the day. But, you know, sometimes you had to because you didn't have a choice. But this is the life that I grew up in. So, yeah, when I moved out here, I had to get used to it. I had to get used to no gunfire, no arguing, no fighting. People walk with the dogs on a leash. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? People were nice and polite. I had to get used to it. But 1 year when I moved here, I didn't talk to nobody because it was hard for me to adjust. Walked in here, moved in here, set up security cameras everywhere. And then found out that the people that I lived with were really, really, really nice people at the end of the day. So it took me a year to adjust. So like I said, man, you don't know anything about me at the end of the day. You don't know where I came from, what I'm about, what I've been through, what I've seen. You don't even know. I lived in some of the nastiest neighborhoods you live in. 33rd and Butler, 8th and Diamond, 5th and Allegheny. Richard Allen Projects, Diamond Street, all up in there. I lived in all them neighborhoods. I know everything in Philadelphia and all them stomping grounds. It's funny because when I bump into customers from Philadelphia and I explain to them where I came from and where I used to roam with, they be like, oh, shoot, we didn't know you went that far back. Yeah, I go that far back. I know OGs, all that nonsense. I'm connected with all that crazy nonsense. Back in the day when I was connected like that, no, not anymore. Disconnected from all that nonsense. I still got a few in the phone book. Still got a few, but I call them from time to time, say how they doing, they're okay, because I've known them forever. The rest of them, I had to get rid of them. This is what we're working on right now. That's the church we're doing right now. So that's the problem they're having. They can't get the screen to pull. So you see that projector right there? I've never seen a projector. I've seen big projectors, but good gracious. That thing is huge. That thing's got to be mounted from up to the roof to the back. Look at the size of that thing. But anyway, that's a 12,000 lumen projector. I wonder how much they paid for it. They didn't tell me what they paid for it, but that thing is crazy. I'm going to ask him. We'll call him up today. He's a cool dude. I've talked to him quite a few times. But this is what they're having. When I was looking at this, I was thinking I was looking at inside the church. I didn't realize this was a concrete floor. There's cars in here, but I had to take them out because he showed me pictures and somebody's license plate popped up. So we can't use those pictures. But this is actually outside. So, sorry about that. To deal with COVID, a lot of the churches are having these outside events because it's much easier. I think that's a cool idea. People can sit in the car, they can drive up, and they can have the servant. So, we're looking at the environment. We're seeing what we need to do it, and what we got downstairs should be able to get the screen to fire up. Like I said, it's going to be a very difficult job because we're talking about 1 and 2 o'clock. I mean, sorry, 12 and 1 o'clock. And those are the worst areas to work at right now. But if they're getting a faint image, and they are picking up a faint image off the gray, we know what we got downstairs is going to trigger it. As long as we get that faint image and we can see how powerful the projector is, that's what we want to do. If you look at my intro video, they had the same problem. When the screen was coming up, there's a faint image, and then our technology made it pop. So we're praying that this basically, when we put this application on, they do the sample, that it should react. If not, we got another step we can go through to make it even more concentrated than what it is. And poof, man, this stuff is not good for home use. All right, people. I don't like to share too much about my old life, you know what I mean, when I was young and everything, but every so once in a while I bring it up. Hopefully this young man can learn, or older man, he's probably the same age I am, can learn that, you know, you can talk about anything you want. Don't mess with people when it comes to Christianity. Don't do that, man, because at the end of the day, you're not dealing with that person. You're dealing with who they serve at the end of the day. God does not bless the wicked. If I'm doing something wrong, God can't bless my hand. He can't give me new technology. He can't give me nothing at the end of the day. At all. He don't bless the wicked. So don't involve people's religion in this stuff. Don't do that. Between what I go through in life, it's between me and God. If I see a Christian doing wrong, the worst thing I can do is come to him and try to coach him, but I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to criticize him because that's between him and God to take care of. That's their business. You crossed the line with that one. So I wish you the best of luck in life. I really do. But you got a lot to deal with, man, at the end of the day. At the end of the day, I'm still going to take you to court. I'm still going to file a lawsuit against you because, like I said, you don't learn, and you're a person that can't learn. I can give you as many olive branches as you want. I can turn the cheek as many times as you can. I got people right now that saying, look, just take them to court, set it up, we'll get everything put, and just bring them in next month, and we'll basically file a lawsuit. We'll sue them. The reason why I haven't sued you and I've been taking my time with this is trying to see if you're a person that can change. I didn't believe that everybody can change. When I came out of lockup, I changed completely. Didn't want to go back to being the person I was. If you had met me 20 years ago, this conversation would have never gone this far. I'm not saying I'm the baddest person on the face of the planet, but I know my mentality and I know what I was when I was in my 20s. I was extremely, at 16, I was extremely ultra violent and very, very, very quick to shoot somebody. But does this happen in my younger years? My man, I'm telling you, I am that kind of person that will sell everything I got, jump on an airplane, and come to your front door. That's what I was when I was in my 20s. I was an extremely violent human being. Thank the Lord that I went through what I went through, because God knows if I had traveled that path continually, I would have been a dead man. Or somebody would have killed me, or I would have basically gone to jail for the rest of my life for some crazy nonsense, which I almost did. But anyway, so like I said, I'm glad I'm a changed man. But you think I'm a coward at the end of the day? No, man, far from it. I put my faith with the Lord. If I was what I was 20 years ago, it'd be a whole nother story 20 years ago. I'm 50 now. I keep forgetting I'm 54 years old. About that age, it'd be 30 years, maybe. Yeah, 30 years ago, something like that. Keep forgetting the age. But anyway, yeah, if I was in that stage, yeah, this conversation wouldn't have went that far. I'd have been on the airplane looking for you. I'd have dropped right down on your block, and I'd have checked one room from next to next to next. I know my mentality. I know what I was. I would have checked every single apartment until I came to yours. It would have been no talk, nothing, and not a thing. And I got back on the plane, would have went home. I'm not proud of the things I did when I was young. I basically went in for some things I'm not going to talk about and what time they were trying to get me for what happened. But I leave it at that. When God took all that from me, the devil has no claim in my life. And I had to do that because, like I said, where I lived at, being in a violent neighborhood, and then you have to learn to be a particular person, because if you don't, people will run over top of you every day. So you have to show some, I'm not going to go too much into it, but you have to be to show that you can. I'm going to leave it at that. So take it as a joke, but you usually do. You laugh at things. That's what you do, because I expect that from you. You take no. I'm trying to tell you man to man, but that's how you act. You act like a child. So, the only way you're going to be to learn your lesson from this, take it to court, and we do what we have to do. Then you get a taste of reality, how the real world works, and that things get really serious outside YouTube. And you have to deal with the rest of this with God. That's it. That's all I can say. But I thank the Lord at the end of the day that I am not the human being I was 30 years ago. I'm going to say 30 because I'm 54, 34 years ago. I'm not that person, and I'm happy to never, ever be that person. And no person on the face of the planet will ever bring that side of me ever again. That person has died and will stay dead for the rest of his life. So you're extremely lucky that I'm not that person anymore. And I don't basically deal with those individuals and people I used to have ties with. And thank God I'm not that person. And I'm glad the Lord has forgiven me for all the things that I have done in life. At one point I went to church when I got saved. I felt so bad for it's crazy. When you get saved, all the stuff you remember that you didn't remember when you were doing it. All the destruction and unhappiness and things you caused people in life, you don't see it when you're doing it. And then when you get saved, your eyes open up and you see all the damage that you caused in life to people. And at one point, it gets so bad that you start thinking about suicide because you can't grasp on what you've done. I've done some really horrible stuff, and I have to live with that for the rest of my life. But I'm happy because I have forgiveness from God for what I've done. So at one point I thought I couldn't take it. I couldn't take it. I was seeing all this stuff and remembering things that I did to people and stuff like that, and it was so bad. And I thought to myself, I'm better off not being here because I can't live with this every day. But I read things. I read the Bible. My mom gave me the Bible and said, read the Bible. And the Bible will help you get through what you're getting through, because the devil's going to come at you now. He's going to come at you even stronger and even heavier, because now you walked away. He don't got you no more. He's going to come at you. So I remember reading about Saul in the Bible. How Saul went out and he killed Christians. Lots and lots of Christians. He had armies that were going to towns, and he was gathering all these Christians, and they were massacring, killing them, hanging them, whatever. They were killing them. And he was doing this job for this king. So one day Saul was going to this town to go kill these Christians. God knocks him off his horse. He says, Saul, Saul, why do you prosecute me? He made him into a disciple. He made him into a very powerful Christian. A Christian that did great things for God. And I thought to myself, if God could take a man like this that murdered all of these Christians and did all this evil at the end of the day and make him a man of God, he could do the same thing for me. And that's when I started changing. So, no, I don't hate you at the end of the day. You make me mad sometimes. Yeah, you make me angry. That's human behavior. That's what it's supposed to be. You tick me off from time to time. That's human behavior. And what I have to teach myself, and what I'm teaching myself every day, is that I retaliate because I back my company, and that's what I'm supposed to do. But sometimes I just take it too far. and I go into these freaking tailspins, and the devil catches on to me and drags me down, and I have to go, okay, enough is enough. You won in, you proved your point, that's the end of it. But to keep coming in and keep coming in and keep coming in and keep coming in over and over again, that is the devil holding on to me, dragging me down. And I have to basically get out of that situation. The Christian man that got me the first time got me out of that situation. I see myself spiraling back down that road. If you follow a fool, you become a fool. See, that's what you don't understand at the end of the day. So you keep on doing your nonsense. I have to go through this learning process now that I'm going through to learn to let go and put it in God's hands. My biggest problem is I get caught up in something and I go here. Now, like I said, I don't do dirty stuff like you, man. At the end of the day, I don't go out and post memes of, I don't do that stuff in the day. There's certain guidelines I don't cross. But if I got evidence on you, if you're doing something wrong and I post it because you're doing something against me, I'm back in my company. But to keep going on and on and on and on and on with it is just taking it too far. I spent yesterday doing all this talking on this and killed my entire day on that one video. I had so much work to do that I backed myself and I'm thinking, okay, this is what you're doing right now. You're going on and on with this nonsense. You proved your point. You were done. Move on with it. You got things to do. And end up doing the same thing that day. So, yeah, man. What bothered me, basically, what you did was the fact that you involved my Christianity. That's what bothered me. And how you made that statement about how I cheated and stole from a church. I don't steal from churches. That's the one thing I would never do. Never do. And I don't steal from my customers either. I spend a lot of money for ship out for my products. I spend a lot of money for making sure my customers are taken care of. We update our websites and make sure everything's legit. We do tons of demonstrations. We do more work than most people do in the day when it comes to home theater. We push it for everybody. And people like you that don't like me, and I see a little pockets of little groups that can't stand me at the end of the day. That's normal. We know that comes with business. Everybody got to deal with that. But you just take it too far with it, man. You go way too far with it. You really do. And this is the reason why we have to take you to court. This is the reason why you have to be sued on that level, because you don't learn. There's no way this fellow will ever learn. I've never seen anything like him at all, period. I hope one day you do find God. I hope one day you can get on YouTube and explain what kind of person you used to be and what you are now. I hope you do. But man, you don't learn. And people who don't learn have to take the long way. And I was one of those individuals in life that couldn't learn and had to take the long way. And God Almighty, I took the long way. Went through the whole system, been prosecuted, had to go through this. Never want to go through that crap ever again as long as I live. But man, you'll have to learn in life. You have to. It wasn't supposed to be part of this video, but I thought I'd put that in there, and talk about that. But you don't do that to a Christian. That's one thing. I can get in an argument with a Christian in a day. I am not crossing that line with them. Oh, heck no. Not what I've been through. You learn from your experience. This is what they call, AKA, Christian boot camp. All right. I got a ton of work to do today. Oh, my goodness, man. I got to do a spray on gunmetal. This right here, we're going to be working with the church. Hopefully, we pray that formula is going to react right, because like I said, the only formula we have that can take on a screen like that, it's a sun killer, and we don't have, it's too expensive to ship out. So we got to work with that next. So I got to start setting up and getting ready. Oh, we got the massage chair down here today. And I still got to figure out where the heck am I going to sit at. All right, so with that being said, I got to get back to work. Let me show you the top. So what we got downstairs. All right, so let me show you this. We have here, let me see. These are the new stuff we have here. So this is the concentrated, which I can't wait. We got to get ready to ship this out for them. This is the new stuff. Oh, I forgot to print out the label, man. I got to print the label for that one. This right here is the gold. This is the gold right here. This is the spray on gunmetal. I can't wait to test that out right there. I think I'm going to get my paint spray and everything ready for that one. All right, we got the roll on we're going to do. So we set up for this ahead of time because I want to test out this gunmetal. Which somebody was asking me about that too, which is weird. Somebody was asking me about, do we make a gunmetal spray on? I was like, nope, we don't make it. Now we have one. So I'm doing one of these for myself. So I want to get this sprayer done today. If it rains, I'm still going to try to get this done under the deck and get that finished. Somebody was just talking about it, and I got to contact the customer, hoping he didn't make the order. I'll just swap him out for the gunmetal, that's all. And we'll do it that way. But I'm getting one for myself. So we have one with the black. So we upgraded the technology for the acoustics to make them brighter. We have 2 customers right now sending theirs back. We're going to upgrade their screens for free. So we're going to be doing those pretty soon and testing those out for them on the new stuff. We're going to be doing a side-by-side so you can see the difference between fabric that's not painted and fabric that is painted with it. So my paint sprayer I have to clean out today. Try to keep this thing as clean as possible. Last one I broke, but I don't think I did a good job cleaning that one. This thing done. Wait, what's this? Oh, that's the sprayer to the other one. Like, I only got an extra one here. Here we go. And we got the camera. So I'm gonna get this set up for today. Once that's done, we'll get that sprayed out and done. This one we gotta get labels for. This are the exotics, so you already know the Black Widow exotics, because this is the gold version we have right here. We've already seen this one already. That one's upstairs. I'm gonna paint one to the wall too. And this one right here is the new. That's the new stuff. Next week we start working on a blue. Somebody requested purple, so we got a purple and a green. We have to get a surface to paint that one too. And this one over here is already done. This one we have upstairs. I need to take this upstairs because we're going to paint this one directly to the wall. The ultra short throw accent we have attached to the wall, we're going to put this up there because I like the color of it upstairs. I really do. So I want 2 of these upstairs in that room. So we're going to be painting that one in today as soon as I find frog tape. So we're going to do 2 paint-on demonstrations to the wall. One demonstration to the wall and 1 spray on screen we're going to do outside. I don't think. Hopefully, if we don't get rain and the weather is good, then we can go back outside with the short throw setups, which I like so much. Oh, that was so nice to have, because usually when I have the big boy projectors out there, that sucker's hitting me in the. Oh, we got to update the website on it too. But that big boy's hitting me in the back of the head. I got to lay down all the time. This one I can sit up out there. I can watch TV and whatever out there, which is really nice. So we have to make some changes on the website. 3 changes. I think one is something to do with payment. Something to do with payment, update something for payment. I'll figure that one out. It's something we have to update payment. The shipping we have to do one for because we have to change because of COVID. We got to go and update the shipping time. So for U.S. orders, it's going to be 2 to 3 shipping days. Overseas, it's going to be 10. So that's what we're finding out. So we need to update all that on the site. We also need to put into our shipping and return policy, we need to add in the snail mail policy, which means, bottom line, if your package is moving, like if it's moving and it's taking too long to get there, we go back and check it through detail check. Oh, did we do that with somebody already? I think I have to do that. We go down and go through detailed checking. This is what I'm glad I know a few of the managers over at the post office. There's some stuff that I can't usually get because I have that kind of that access with them. I know people down there. I can just text her, yo, I got this package. There's no so can you see if it's moving or where it's at? They can get the areas that I can't get to, which is nice to have a few people that work down there. So if the package is snailing and we know it's just grinding at a slow halt, you know what I mean, then what we'll do is we'll ship you out another one. So we're going to put that in our policy that we'll ship you out another one. And then that way, if both packages get there, don't worry about it. Don't send it back. Keep it, that way you don't care. You just keep it. We just want to make sure you get your product. So we'll put that into the policy today. So that's all taken care of. But there's another one going in there for payments. I can't remember what that was, but I'll figure out what that was later. Something that we'll have in there. The concentrated version of this is not going to be available to customers. It's no use to having it. This stuff is going to be really crazy bright. It's going to be used for those applications for what they need at the church and other things, like other businesses and stuff like that. So that's what we're going to be doing. All right, let me get everything settled because I got to go upstairs. I got to grab 2 motorized projection screens. I'm going to put all 3 of them outside. I just installed hooks here and here yesterday, so that way when we have it laying up against here, the wind hits it and it throws the screen around a bit. So this will be laying against the wall, and we're going to set up a whole area here for basically just doing some outdoor motorized projection screen gaming or just watching TV or shows or whatever. So I'm going to be setting up something out there for those motorized screens so we can get that ready. And then hopefully we can get everything set up for the summer. We can have some fun. All right, be safe out there. Thank you all for your wonderful time. And I got to go, and God bless.